Hello everyone, thank you for joining me again for this memory plan with me for the week of the 21st of December. So each of the 4 weeks through December I'm using Christmas kits. They're just so lovely and so fun to use, and what more excuse do you need? So I'm laying down the base of this kit. It's from Tralala Stickers, very pretty blue and pink pastel-y Christmas. My plan was to alternate my pretty blue and pink pastel ones with a traditional red one in between, and I have managed to do that so far. So I'm going through here laying down all of my base as I normally do, and once I've got that done I will come back and talk to you about the plans for this week. With the sidebar complete and all the 4 boxes down, I've popped a couple of trackers. So I've used 3 on the weekdays and 2 on the weekend. Decided to use trackers because there is a little bit happening, getting close to Christmas, a few last minute gifts to do and to wrap and what have you. So that's why I've decided to add the trackers. When it's a little bit quieter and there's not much going on, I tend not to necessarily put the trackers into the plan. It varies depending on what the needs are for that particular week and how much is happening. So I'm just going across the top of each of the weekdays and, or actually the first 3 because I started my leave after the Wednesday, and I've used 3 flags from the kit, and then I've used a foiled sticker from Mum and Me for my work stickers. They are some of my favourite stickers, particularly her scripts. I really enjoy them, and I've put that across the top. This blue and pink scheme to me seemed to work beautifully with the silver foil, and so that's what I've chosen to use across there. So then I've gone and put a Christmas and a Christmas Eve and a Boxing Day sticker across those three main holidays. And those stickers are from Arctic Paper Studio, and they've been really good, and I've enjoyed using those. I like the mixture of the bold script and then the fancier script underneath. I think they're a nice combination. So starting on Monday, I have a look through my pen collection and grab one of the Simply Gilded pens to start writing on my boxes. So I've chosen a half box, and I'm using a little bit of deco from the kit to just pop on the side of that. There was quite a bit of deco in there, and they were really quite sweet. So they looked nice on the page. And I've just noted though there that I needed to do some emails, but that the emails had really slowed up, and I think that was indicative of people starting to wind down. 2020 has been a pretty horrific year for most people, and I think they were very glad to be starting their Christmas holidays and everybody looking forward to a much brighter 2021. So I've used a bow divider also from the kit there just to go between the next item that I marked, and that was that I had that evening a meeting, so the last meeting before Christmas, which will also be nice. They're no big deal. They're just once a week on a Monday night, but it is your own time, and it is nice to be able to get a little bit of that back. So that was enjoyable. Just had to take up that laptop, which was from Crafts by Thaowie, and add the meeting script underneath, which is one of my own, and just tuck the tail under. So there's a tail on each end. When I made them, I did it specifically that way so that I could move them across the page and just cut off the bits of tails that I didn't need. And for the most part, this worked, although I do seem to have fluffed around a little bit doing this one. And so I've just gone back to the paper just to get it in the place that I want. I don't know why I didn't do that in the first place, quite honestly. And then just taken my little knife and trimmed off that little bitty tail. Sometimes you get to use them and they look pretty, and sometimes they just don't quite work. And so I've now gone down to the tracker and added on there that I needed to do the agenda for the meeting, and that we had garlic prawns for dinner that night, which were cooked by Christina, and I also did the minutes after the meeting. So that pretty well finished off Monday. Not much fun in the afternoon for that one. It's what Mondays are like, unfortunately. There's not a lot of time to do much else but work on a Monday. So it's probably best that they're on a Monday and not a Friday, because then they would be quite hard to take. So now I'm using some Paper Muse craft headers, and I'm scattering them across the spread. And they are in a very pretty soft pink, which seems to work quite well with this. And so up on the next day, on Tuesday, I've just put the header between the work and the next little. I used a Littles. No, I didn't actually. No, I've used a quarter box out of the kit. And unfortunately, the back sticky of it came apart a little bit. But anyway, we managed to salvage most of it. That's gone down with one of my coffee scripts and a little coffee cup that I've printed. And I've used a Planning World mandala under there. They are such a pretty mandala. Really, really one of the favourite things that she does. Love those mandalas. So I'm just marking on the tracker there that I needed to do the banking and get that all tucked away before the end of the year, and the mail, and tidy up the office. I wanted to go away with that all nice and neat and clean. There's nothing worse than leaving a mess and having to come back to it after the break. Also down there, I noted that Adrian popped over to join us for dinner. I think he might have been dropping his car off for a service or something like that, and ended up staying at the same time. So across onto Wednesday, I've used a half box and some decoed little Christmas bauble in the corner, and noted on there that I had done some Christmas bits and pieces. I also needed to go up to the top of the page and mark a birthday of one of my grandsons. It was his birthday on this day. the 23rd of December. I used to think I had it tough with the 14th, but there's no doubt the 23rd of December is a tricky one to have right at Christmas time. But I know his parents are always good about making it still special for him, and this day was no exception. So I've marked that with that little flag. Unfortunately, is from Sharina Jane, which you can't get anymore. The birthday script is from Mum and me, and the two little foiled, the package and the balloons are from Barney and Moon. And then actually that message was the Christmas message that I usually send to the staff before we finish off for the year, just to thank them for the great work and to wish them well and a safe break. Then we had a little bit of a break-up lunch for a few of us. That was going to be the last day. So even though the clinic would be open for a little bit longer, we had the majority of staff were heading off, and we only had a skeleton staff on for the other main days. And then coming across to Thursday, it was really nice to have a Christmas Eve off. It's been quite some time since I've actually got that opportunity, so it was really nice. Not quite sure how I missed that little bit of Thursday's spread, but I just noted on there that on Christmas Eve we went to one of our sons, and there were three or four families there of our family that could make it, and it was just the most delightful night. The kids were having a ball, opening presents and just enjoying some wonderful food. Veronic's a very good cook, and we just had an amazing night. It was just really lovely, and it certainly served to well and truly get us into the Christmas spirit. So it was a reasonably late night, and then I decided that I would set the table and just get a few things ready here at home for the few of us that would be joining for Christmas Day the next day. And that was what I did. So that's mainly what it consisted of. It was a little bit weird having the luxury of getting everything ready the day before, because I've worked on Christmas Eve for so many years. It was a rather nice little indulgence, and we were very lucky. David and I, as always, were very spoilt by our children and grandchildren, and we got some lovely gifts that I know we're going to get to enjoy through 2021. So then Christmas morning came around, we had a little bit of a sleep in, and we always do a little Christmas tradition sort of in the morning that started some years ago when David was unwell and in hospital. And we do a Macca's run before we start all of the cooking for Christmas lunch. And on this occasion, we actually had a couple of my daughter-in-law's family joining us for Christmas lunch this day. It was a really lovely day. It was quite mild. It wasn't particularly hot. We really got to just relax and enjoy it. It was much later than we normally do, but that's just one of those things. We just seem to be in a bit of a go slow, and we weren't too worried about it, probably because we'd had such a lovely evening the night before. So as you can imagine, by the time we'd had sort of 2 days of Christmas festivities, food and wine and so on, we were very, very happily full. And I think the word contented is something that tends to come to mind. So I've used another one of those Planning World mandalas, which are quite lovely. The little meal stickers over on Thursday were from Crafts by Thaowie. And then the divider down the bottom was from my sweet edition. Oh, I can't actually remember that Thursday one. Let me just check my notes. So Thursday, I haven't actually noted on there where that one came from. I think I got it in a D stash, but I don't remember. And unfortunately, because I didn't sort of capture it in the film, we didn't get to see it either. So Christmas Eve and Christmas Day were really quite delightful. And then on Boxing Day, we catch up with my brother, which again has been a tradition that we've had for many, many years. And as the family has grown, we just continue to have it, but with all the extended family, all the grandchildren that have added to the picture, from the nieces and nephews, and it's just lovely. So we're very spoilt and very blessed to be able to have 3 amazing days to spend with wonderful family, and I'm always very, very grateful for it. They were just 3 very happy days, and delightfully exhausted yet again. fell into bed at the end of the day. The kids had a ball, lots of happy children screaming, and all of the sorts of things that you love to enjoy at this time of the year. Again, some really cute presents. We do a bit of a Kris Kringle, and we have a reasonable little allowance that we have for it, and we all get to receive some really nice gifts and shop for some lovely gifts. It's good fun. Do love the Kris Kringles. So that finished off those 3 busy and, as I wrote in my planner, happily exhausted and fell into bed. Pretty hard to top those 3 days, so it was a day off on Sunday. I'm not quite sure why I wrote day off, because I wouldn't have been working anyway, but I've used a Samantha May sticker up there for day off, rather unusually, as I said, but nevertheless. And then I have taken another quarter box from the kit and used a sleep-in script of my own to mark that I did have a sleep-in on this morning. As I said, we were pretty pooped, but a really nice way to be pooped. And then I've had a bit of a play around with that again, like I did with the other one that I fluffed around with earlier in the week while I was trying to work out what I wanted to put up there. And eventually I went with one of the flags, which had the lazy morning on it. And I've gone back later on and used a Mr. and Mrs. Mint with the pillow and the sleeping script. And then further down, after the flag and the lazy morning, I have added that we did a coffee run and a coffee cup there that I've made myself, and just cut off the tail and trimmed it to fit in with the row. And for some reason I zoomed back out rather than going in, but nevertheless, that's what I did this afternoon. And then I've just put a bow divider again from the kit. They're quite sweet, the little bow dividers in this kit. I don't have a lot of her kits, but the ones I do have are really quite nice. So I just marked down on the tracker for that recovered from so much food and drink. And we certainly don't sort of indulge like that most of the year, so it's a little bit of a shock to the system. It takes a little bit of getting used to. I certainly couldn't party like that very much through the year, that's for sure. So I'm just finishing up here and showing you what's left. So all the full boxes have gone. There's a few glitter headers, most of the littles, a couple of trackers and a couple of boxes left. But it's a pretty generous kit. You could probably be more selective and just print out the things that you're likely to need, but that's fine. I'm quite happy to have those as spares. So just looking through now, and I'm going to give you a little bit of a close-up. I've actually gone to a Crafts by Thaowie Christmas sampler and added a few more little silvery bits and pieces, some baubles and candy canes and different little things. I was hoping here to pick up some of the gold foil, or silver foil rather, but it just doesn't quite pick up the same way that the golds do. But it was actually a lot prettier in real life than what it appears here. And then I've stuck a few of those lovely little bits and pieces on the bottom washi. Thanks for joining me. Please don't forget to subscribe, and I'll see you in the next plan with me. Goodbye.